Today I'm going to talk about play last and this perception that I have when I collaborate with other people or work on team projects or get involved with people in any way. Things get complicated in ways that I never could have imagined. What I've learned and decided over and over again in my life is to just not get involved with other people and not collaborate and not work on team projects. That's probably an area of growth for me. I probably need to go there and do some successful collaborations to kind of get over this. I do have that perception, and I think it's a play last thing. And I think partially the fact that I have this belief is creating this reality because that's how beliefs and reality work. I had a dream about this recently. So in the dream, I was at a wedding reception and I met a really cute guy, just a completely fictional dream character, but he did have characteristics of certain people that I know. He was a lot like my partner in that he was just really nice, not like me at all. I'm not particularly helpful. So I have this self above tribe thing that just makes me a little bit stingy with my time. I do help people in certain ways. I can connect people with information. I can expose them to the right ideas at the right time to help them understand or integrate whatever they're trying to understand in their own lives. So that's what I'm good at. And if I help people at all, that's how I do it. That feels natural to me. But what I'm not good at is stopping what I'm doing and giving my time to someone else in an unplanned scenario. So I'm very stingy with my time if you need me right now. My partner is good at helping right now. He has a lot of play energy. He was telling me the other day that he was over at his friend's house. He was in her backyard, and the neighborhood lawn care guy that takes care of the lawns of a whole bunch of people in the neighborhood was having an issue with his lawnmower. This was an antique lawnmower. They don't make the parts anymore. And he had taken it to the repair shop, and the repair shop did some kind of job and charged him a whole lot of money. And then that job didn't stick. So the lawnmower was only fixed for like a week and then it broke again. My partner is very, very handy. He has the mind of an engineer. He can fix things. He looked at the guy's lawnmower and he went to his truck and got a little part that he had and he fixed the guy's lawnmower. And it was like a really good fix. He said, "Man, I think this is going to last for a long time. You're all set." So my partner stopped what he was doing and helped this guy. That's the kind of thing that he does on a daily basis. He's just so helpful and with so much play energy. So much energy that says, let me just stop what I'm doing and flex and pivot and help you with your thing right now. And he was telling me this story. I thought it was so sweet. And just right in the middle of the story, I kind of interrupted and I said, "Man, I wish I was a nice person," because he's just like a saint compared to me. Anyway, back to the dream. So I was at a wedding reception. I met a super cute guy and he was like 10 or 12 years younger than me in the dream and a little bit naive, unexperienced, and just so nice. The wedding reception party was kind of winding down and he said, "I got a good idea. I think that we should go to the Taco Bell." And I'm like, yeah, midnight snacks. Like, I'm not really a Taco Bell person, but midnight snacks when you've been at a party and maybe you're a little drunk. So I was like, yeah, I'm on board with this. Tacos at midnight. He said we should go to the Taco Bell and we should help the guys that are working there close up for the night. I was like, what? Like, I thought you were going to say we should eat tacos. And then in the dream, I was thinking like, oh, you are so sweet. You are so stupid and so sweet. Bless your little heart. Because I know that when you go somewhere and try to help people or do things for other people, then it gets complicated. So it was very much a play last dream. So we go to the Taco Bell to help these guys close up. And there were 3 guys there, 3 workers, just doing the dishes, wiping the counters, cleaning up for the night, except one of the guys was dead. Okay. There was an evil guy who was chopping up the dead guy, putting him into a bucket kind of thing to dispose of him. And then the 3rd guy was just doing the dishes, doing all the work to close up the shop. So I didn't say like, "I told you so," but I was thinking in my mind, like, you see, this got complicated. You try to help someone out and it gets complicated. But that was a play last dream. That's what it was about. That's a recurring dilemma in my life. So a few years ago, before I knew about objective personality at all, I was actually working on play last. I knew that since I'm super introverted and I'm reluctant to socialize with people or collaborate with people, then that's the spot that I need to lean into. I made myself join a running group, and I got together with people and trained with them for, races, and just ran socially with people. So the running group that I was running with was kind of part of a store. There's a really great running store here, and they have social running groups, and that's part of how they do their marketing and keep business coming in, is that very community-based sort of model of business, that you create a tribe around your business, you create family, and that keeps your store alive. And that's worked for them, and it's brilliant. Well, right next door, there was a sports rehab facility where you could go to do recovery kind of things like ice baths and get a massage and all these things to help you recover from sports injuries. They needed some extra help with massage therapy. So I thought, this is perfect. I can fill in for them. It'll give me extra work, and it'll also just keep me connected to that community. It helps me with the personal project that I'm trying to do, which is being more comfortable being a tribe member, bringing that play energy, practicing the play energy more often by knowing people, I guess, collaborating with people, just being a tribe member. So I went to go work at this place. The first thing that I noticed was that there were no clocks anywhere. Big SI red flag. You are running a business and there are no clocks. That's just weird. In the treatment rooms where massage therapists would give massages, there were no clocks on the wall. Like, oh, that's weird. But I'm an independent contractor, so I'll bring my own clock. At some point during the first week, I realized their booking system was kind of strange. They were booking the appointments back to back, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, but these were hour-long appointments. Sally comes for her appointment at 3 p.m., it's from 3 to 4, then it's always gonna, go over a little bit because people, talking and getting dressed and undressed, and then you have to change all the sheets in the room, sanitize things to get ready for the next client. And so I was really surprised when I realized that this was how they were doing their booking system. I asked the receptionist about it, and he's like, yeah, that's just how we do it. And I just said, that's not how time works. It's really unlike me to be that direct. I have feminine TE third, which is kind of a problem for me. I'm just not as direct as I should be. That is one of the most direct things that I've ever said to someone. That is not how time works, because I just couldn't believe it. I cannot believe that this is how this business is run. This is absolutely ridiculous. So I asked the receptionist and also the owner, so how does that work when the appointments kind of run into each other? And the owner said, well, it usually works out. I mean, people are really nice, they're forgiving, and we just like hang out and talk to them while they're waiting for their appointment. And sometimes it starts a little late, sometimes it's 20 minutes late or so. And so I'm just thinking like, okay, so your business strategy is to inconvenience your clients. I think some people would be forgiving of that, but other people would be more planned. And if they were expecting an appointment at 3 o'clock, they would want it to be, at 3 o'clock, give or take 5 minutes. I think it's insane to assume that that's not gonna bother somebody. Some people might be cool with it, but it's gonna like inconvenience and disappoint your clients who are coming to your business. I thought it was insane, just like huge SI red flag. You are doing the SI wrong. And then it was also this kind of overcompensation with FE. Like, it's okay if the SI is all fucked up because we're just gonna lean on FE. We're just gonna smile and make people feel good, and it'll be okay if we inconvenience them a little bit. And that's just a huge pet peeve of mine. When people prioritize FE over SI. They're prioritizing FE over practical things like TE or SI, or like the really practical things that we need to make shit work. Like, it's just not okay. If you're super disorganized, you can't just smooth it over with a smile. When you run a business, you need to serve people in a practical, organized way. You can't just be like apologizing all the time. You need to also work work on getting it right. That's how you respect people. You do the job correctly. You show up on time when you said you would. If you're constantly relying on FE to smooth things over, then you need to look at your business model, because FE is great, but it's like extra on top of getting shit done correctly first. So I do understand that you need to be a little bit flexible. Unexpected things come up and you need to problem solve in the moment, be light on your toes. But when I work with other people who think that everything's going to work out without any planning at all, it really irritates me, because they're inviting the unexpected. The unexpected will come no matter how planned you are. But if you're just so disorganized and unplanned that you're just inviting chaos, I don't want to be on your team. I just don't want to be part of it. So I had these assumptions that these people are going to be basically reasonable. Everybody does things differently. I assume that these people will be basically reasonable and I'll be able to work with them in some capacity. I might have to be flexible in this situation. That's just how it is when you work with other people. I accept that. Then I got into this situation and I was like, wow, there's no clocks. There's no organization at all. There's no structure. You're inconveniencing and disappointing clients who are coming in because you don't have your shit together. It was just really hard for me to be a part of it. But then I thought, like, how can I bring this all up? What little things can I do behind the scenes to make it, run more smoothly? So that's what I was trying to be mature and work on. It was one of those places where the paychecks are once a month and I was waiting for that paycheck, and it was just a time in my life when money wasn't that great. Paycheck day came and there were no paychecks. They just didn't come. Then I think the next day the employer said, hey guys, I'm so sorry I didn't get the paychecks out yesterday. I'm going to need a couple more days. I'm just super busy with my kids and family stuff. That was kind of like the final straw. It was just like, I can't believe it. I had this weird bill that overdrew because I didn't get my paycheck, which, like, I take responsibility for that. My bank account shouldn't have been so close to the edge that something like that would put me over, but that was the reality. Sometimes when you're self-employed and you're in massage therapy and you're going through lean times, that happens. And it was also just like her reasoning. It was just kind of like, oh, I got so busy with the kids, I just forgot to pay you. Like, I think she had the money. She was just like, oh, what difference does it make if I pay you on the due date or a couple days later? Why would that matter? She was just so nonchalant about it. And so I told her, like, I can't do this. Like, my bank account overdrew because I was expecting to be paid on the date that you said that I was going to be paid. And she said, well, why didn't you tell me? You could have texted me and told me, and then I would have, made a special effort to pay you. And I was just like, it never occurred to me to remind you to pay me when you said you were going to pay me. Like, if I reminded you to pay me on time, that would almost be like insulting. It feels insulting to me to remind somebody to do something that they said they were going to do, because it's like they told me that they were going to do it on this date, and so I need to believe them, like trust them, especially since she was the business owner. She wasn't really like my boss because I was an independent contractor, but then, it is her business. It's like her home court. That was a situation where I was trying to exercise my play energy and everything got really complicated and I just couldn't work there. Not a big surprise. 3 months later, that business was dissolved because obviously they just didn't have their shit together. Like, you need a certain level of SI in order to run a business, and they didn't have it. But, there's other situations like that where even just getting together with someone for coffee, the number of times people cancel at the last minute. It could be like I'm meeting with another artist friend and I know that they're really into ceramic slip casting or something. And I saw a technique a few weeks ago and I want to talk about that when we get together for coffee, because I think that this artist would really, really appreciate this information. So I go back and I review the video to make sure that I understand it, because I'm going to talk about this when we get together for coffee. And I'm excited about it. Like, the coffee meeting is at 3:00 and I've already put energy into it. I've put effort into how I want to engage with my friend and contribute and have a good conversation. And so maybe I'm working in my studio all day, but then the coffee meeting is coming up. So I stop what I'm doing and I wrap up all my stuff breath, clean myself up a little bit, and get myself in the right mental state to have this meeting, grab my keys, and I'm going out to my car. And then I get a text, oh, I have to cancel last minute. I've already strategized all day long to be ready for this point, and then you're just going to cancel. And I understand that these things come up, but it's like the number of times that it comes up and how acceptable it seems to people is just like way more than actual emergencies. Like, oh, it's just a coffee date. It's no big deal. It doesn't matter if you cancel. I don't know. It interrupts my time. I'm less efficient during my day when shit like that happens. So I'm not very accepting of it. And it just makes it where I have this kind of PTSD about getting together with people. And so I'm not a good friend. I'm reluctant to collaborate with people or even get together for coffee because I just kind of have this PTSD about people being flaky or things getting weird and complicated. And I want to help people in ways that are comfortable and natural for me, but maybe that's leaning into my saviors too much. Brainstorming for other people is something that I'm good at. If someone's trying to solve a problem, I can use my NE to show them 10 different possibilities that maybe they didn't see. That's how it feels natural for me to help people, and it feels good to do that. But just like stopping what I'm doing right now to go rescue somebody on the side of the road is not something that I'm good at. And I feel kind of embarrassed when I hear stories about like my partner helping people, just how helpful and giving he is in that really play energy kind of way. I think that I want to be a little bit more like that, practice doing it some of the time, but I'm probably not ever going to become like him. I'm never going to have that much play energy. I think I could do it a little bit some of the time. That's all for now. I'll talk to you next week.